Alright, hello, Christy Ruffner here, and today we're going to continue our case study. This is going to be week, let's see, this is going to be week 3, yes, week 3 of our case study, and started my first bot on March 30th. Today it is April 18th. And so I've got some statistics to share with you, and I've got some projections to share and some ideas as to my strategy moving forward that I'll be sharing with you today. Try to not make this video too long, but I do have a lot of information I want to share. I want to start off by saying these are my own opinions. I'm not trying to give anybody any kind of advice, no kind of trading advice. No financial advice. I'm not an expert. I've just been watching my robot for about 3 weeks now, and I've got some idea as to how the bot is working and what cryptocurrency pairs I want to be trading in and how I want to set up my robot. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to start off, however, by looking at somebody else's results. I was looking at another video that somebody made who started their bots on the 4th of April, and they had been running their bots for 2 weeks, and I was going to share those results with you and talk to you a little bit about what he's doing as compared to what I'm doing. And hopefully this will give you a little bit of information, make you feel a little bit more comfortable about getting started and how to get started, where to get started. So let's start by looking here. Okay, so here we are. This is someone else's bot. As you can see over here on the left, he started his bots on the 4th of April, and he is at the beginner's level, same level that I'm at, but he's using $900. That's what he stated in his video, that he has allotted $900 in his account to trade with, and he went directly in, set up 6 robots, used every penny of that $900. So he doesn't really have anything else to work with as far as, you know, once he gets into these bots and decides that he wants to make any kind of changes. He doesn't have any flexibility. He'll have to close the bots, wait for them to finish trading before he'll have to add more funds. So as you can see here, so he's got 6 bots. He's got 3 of them set up to trade BTC and USD, and the other 3 set up to trade Litecoin and USD. And each bot has $150 in it to trade with. And then he's got different lots set up in each bot with different amounts of money for the bot to trade with. And so over here you see the 2-week earnings that he has. Now, in his video, he's saying that he's made over $300 in pure profit. I have been trying to figure out where he's getting that figure. I cannot see where he's making that much money. I mean, if you add up these earnings over here, which are his profit, it comes to like $86. So I'm not sure where he's coming up with over $300 in profit. So when you're looking at other people's videos and they're giving you figures, don't just accept them, you know, and some of them just are not real, and I'm not sure where they're getting the numbers. I'm sure that they're not trying to purposely mislead you, but they're not understanding what's going on and understanding what part of the money that they have is actually profit and what is money that's not tied up. And you know, I don't know. I have no idea where he got those figures, but there's no way that in 2 weeks' time, with the way he's got his bots set up, that he's made over $300 in pure profit. I just don't see where it's possible. I might be wrong, but I'm going to show you now my bots. I've got one that's been running for 21 days, so 3 weeks, and one that's been running for 7 days, and we'll take a look at what's going on with those. So let's go on to my screenshot here. You see that I've got 4 bots. I actually have $1,000 in my account that I've allotted to trade with, but I'm only using 400 of it right now because I want to be able to make some decisions and get some other bots trading with the data that I've been collecting. So I've got 2 BTC bots, and I've got an Ethereum bot and a Litecoin bot. You can see those over here. And you can see my earnings so far. This screenshot was taken, as you can see here, on the 18th. So you add these all up and it comes to about $46 that I have made off of my $400 of investment. And so not bad for the amount of time that this has been trading. You can see here this one's been the most recent one that I've set up at 8.8%, and this is my original bot up here at 12.3. Now if you've been watching me at all through any of my videos, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I like to track everything. I like to figure out a way to keep track of things so that I really know, in my own mind anyway, so I can understand what I'm doing and where I'm going and make some projections as to how fast I can get there. And these are just my own concepts. I don't know if they'll make sense to anybody else, but what I've done is I've created a spreadsheet, and I've got each of my robots on here. Robot 1 started on the 30th of March, the second one started on April 2nd, the third one started on April 3rd, and then this last one started on April 11th. And what I've done is I've been tracking, I just set this up like yesterday, and I've only really been tracking, there's this whole period here in the center when I wasn't actually tracking any numbers. So I don't have the numbers for here between like the 8th, oops, let's go back, the 8th to the 12th. I don't really have any numbers, but I've got my first few days here. The 7-day mark for my first robot, I was only making 3.4%. So that's not even a percent a day. At 5 days on the second bot, I wasn't even at 1% yet, and at 4 days on the third bot, I was at 1%. So when you first set your bot up, it is getting acquainted with the market. So don't expect great returns on day one. I mean, some people are getting them, but don't expect it. Don't expect your returns to be anything like anybody else's, because it's going to depend on where you come in the market as to whether it's a downtrend, whether it's sort of a stagnant trend where it's not really going up and down at all, or whether it's on an upward trend. So depending on where you actually come in and start your bot is going to make a difference on how much it makes immediately, but it's also learning. It's getting a feel for the market because it wants to get in at the best place for you to be able to make the profit that you ask it to make. So it just doesn't come in and just buy wherever it's at and go from there. Okay, it's going to analyze the market, spend a little bit of time getting to know what's going on, and then it'll start picking up speed over the next few days. Now, into 14 days on my first bot, I'm at 10.5%. So I'm still not making 1% per day on that first Bitcoin bot. And at the 14-day mark on the second robot, I'm at 9.8%. Now this robot is set, you can see my percentages here. I want each trade to make at least 1.25%. And each of my trades are definitely closing above what I set the robot to make. So I want each trade to make 1.25% on the first robot and 2% on the second robot, which is why this robot lags behind, because it has to make more per trade than any of the others. It's set at a higher percentage, and so it takes longer for that coin to move, especially the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin hasn't been making any real huge moves other than the 12th. On the 12th, it did make some great headway on that day. So then we have the 16th was the 14th day for my Ethereum bot, and you can see here I'm very close to 1% per day on the Ethereum bot at 13.2. And then on April 17th, I have my Litecoin bot is right just above the 1% per day mark, and it's been hovering there since it started. I mean, it's just been a really strong bot. And today, when I took this screenshot, it was at 8.2%, and right now, as of about 5 o'clock my time in the afternoon, the bot is at 9.4%. So it's grown that much through the day. It started out this morning at 8.2 and moved on to 8.8 very quickly, and is right now at 9.4%. So it's really really doing well. So Litecoin is what I'm going to start concentrating on. That's what I'm going to set my next bot up at. I'll probably set up a $200 bot and set it up to start trading. Probably do that here on the video so that you can see how easy it is to do. The next, this is just a bigger screenshot of just the last few days of my robots to sort of give you a good idea of what's going on, but it's basically, it's the same information. You can see here on the 7th, I was at 7.9, and I took that other screenshot. This was actually yesterday. I took this screenshot on the 17th, and then I took that other screenshot today to sort of give you a better idea of exactly where I'm at. So now we're going to go live. Let's go to the website, and just give me a minute to navigate there. All right, so here we are. This is my back office in my robots. Here's my name up here in the corner, and you can see here the 9.4, 13.9, 10.4, 12.3% ROI. And so I'm thinking what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a closer look at the market, but more than likely I'm going to take these bots, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to close them, the BTC bots, the Bitcoin bots, because they're just really not doing what I want them to do. I'm toying around with the idea with putting a little bit of money out there to just buy and hold the Bitcoin. But it's just not moving enough right now for it to really make it worth me holding my money in those bots. And I think it would be more effective to use that money in another pair. So if I come in here and I close this bot, what that's going to do is it's going to tell the bot to stop trading. So it's not going to buy anymore. It's not going to close anything at a loss. If I terminate it now, it would just automatically go in and close every trade that I've got. So if I came in here and if I terminated this bot, it would close all these trades and I would lose this money here, everything that's in the red, and I would earn 4 cents. You can see here that this bot here is set to earn 1.2%. You can see that I'm making quite a bit more, 2.9%, 3.5%, 2.43%. That's per each trade. If I terminate this bot, all of these positions would sell immediately. I would lose money, and that's not really necessary. But If I come in and I just close the bot, then that's going to keep the bot from making any more purchases. And then once the market moves up to where it will make me at least what I have asked the bot to make me for each of those trades, it will sell that Bitcoin to make me that amount of money. And then once all of those trades are closed, then this bot would get closed and it would go into the archive file. So I'm thinking that that's what I'm going to do with both of these BTC bots. And then I'll keep the Ethereum and the Litecoin. You can see here I'm almost at the 10% mark on the Litecoin. So once this reaches 10%, this bot will close. It'll release that $100 and I can put it into another bot. This one here is set at 30%. So I could go in here and I could pause this bot and I could come over here to the edit settings and I could change this ROI here. I could lower that so that this bot would close sooner, because I could put it at 15% or 14%, and then the next trades that it makes, it would reach that 14%. It would close out all the trades that are in there for their profit, and then the bot would close and I would have that $100 back to trade with. So there's a lot of ways that you can sort of rejuvenate your trading bot if things, if you get things set up to where it's not really moving along like you want it to, because you started making decisions before you knew what you were doing, which a lot of people are doing, in my opinion. Then there's ways that you can sort of work your way back and get that money released back into your available balance for trading and reset up a new bot and just archive the old ones. But do not terminate any of your robots ever unless you don't have any trades, because it'll immediately close those trades, and if it's at a position where it's going to lose money, you will lose money. And that's the only way you will lose money, is if you do it. If you do it because you have control, you can lose money. But otherwise, that bot is going to keep trading, and it's going to at least make you the amount of percentage that you've told it to make before it closes that trade and before it closes that bot. So that is really powerful. So right now it shows out of my $1,000 I have $745.62 that's available to trade with. Okay, so I could set up another $200 bot in the Litecoin, and that's probably what I'll do. I'm not sure. I've decided to turn off the auto compound. Auto compound didn't seem to be working anyway, and so I decided to just turn that off. And I can always manually auto compound if I want to, or I can pull what I'm making out. I can withdraw it. Okay, so let's take a look at that, because right here you have your link that says withdrawable amounts. So we're going to go in there, and you see here that it tells me that I can withdraw $646.01. Well, that's because I've got $1,000 in my GDAX account. 400 of it is being used to trade with, and so the other 600 is available because I'm not using it in a bot, but that 4601 is my profit. Okay, so I can actually I could use that, for my trading. It will be available for trading. So that's where that's over $700 is available in my bot if I were to set up a new bot. So I'm sort of rambling here, but I'm hoping that you're getting the idea of how you can manipulate your bots The main thing is to come in and go slow. Get as much money in there as you can. Earmark a certain amount of money to trade with. Okay, don't put in this little, I had somebody saying that they'd put in $50 just to see how it was going to work. Well, there's enough evidence out there that it works. Okay, it works. So make a decision about how much money you want to earmark for trading and put it in your account. Okay, I earmarked $1,000. You can start with as little as $100, but however much you want to start with, get it in there so that you have it to work with. And then start slowly. Set one bot up at a time. Get it running. Make sure that you haven't made any mistakes. Leave it alone. For at least a couple of days. Depending on how much money you have to work with, maybe even up to a week. If you've only got a very little bit of money to work with, then leave it for a week and see how it's going to do. Because then when you put your next robot together, that takes the next chunk that you have available. You want to make it work as efficiently for you as possible. Okay? So take your time. It's not a race. Okay, take your time to set it up and set it up properly, and then leave it alone and don't try to analyze it. That's the bot's job. It's not your job to analyze. Okay, let the bot do the work and leave it alone, and don't try to figure out why it's doing what it's doing or whatever. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start this bot back up, and I've still got some thinking to do. I'm not ready to commit to exactly what I'm going to do yet here, so I'm not going to do it on the video because I want to think about it and make sure that the next steps that I take are exactly what I want to do, because I've only got $600 to work with, and I'm not sure how soon I would be able to get this other 200 available, or whether I'm going to use this other 200 to just, I could come in here and I could pause the sell so that it wouldn't sell anything. It would just hold the Bitcoin that I have right now. So I need to go in and take a look at what price they were bought at, and if I want to just hold that Bitcoin. Maybe I just want to hold it. But it's not using all of that money in each of these bots. So there's still money sitting in there that could be used to buy. So I don't think I'll do that. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and close the bot, let it finish and release those funds, and then go in and just set it up to just buy. And hold whatever it buys. And that way then when the Bitcoin goes up, I could sell it whenever I wanted to. So there's lots of different ways that you can use the bot, but the main thing is to realize that what it's all about is to let the bot do the work. Set it and forget it. Okay, there isn't anything else that you have to do. Once you really understand what's happening and how you can manipulate the bots, then you can do that. But don't go in there and start doing it right away, because you don't know what the heck you're doing. Anytime that you do want to make a change, make sure you pause the bot. Pause the bot before you go in and edit any settings. Okay? You cannot change your what you're trading, your pairs that you're trading. You can't change that because you're already in that market. So you can't change that. Of course, you can rename your bot. There's only one bot to select, so you can't change that. I wouldn't mess with the amount of money that you're trading with. I wouldn't change that. And I wouldn't really even change the number of lots. You know, you're confusing things if you get in there and start messing with this. The only thing I would change is this slider. That's the only thing that I would really change. If I want to make a change in a bot, I would just close it, because otherwise I'm afraid that I would screw it up somehow and confuse it. It's an algorithm, it's technology, so it's not a person that can, you know, try to figure out what you want to do. So I wouldn't mess with any of it, honestly, except this trading ROI. I would lower it so that the bot closes sooner, or I would just close the bot so that it finishes out the trades that it's got going and it's done, and then you can that money will be released and you can set up a new bot. You can combine it with money you've already got, or whatever you want to do. But that's why it's important to really sort of understand what it is you're doing before you start setting up every single bit of money that you've got in bots. Because once you've got them set up, then it's going to take you time to get out of them without losing anything. And you don't want to lose anything. That's not what it's about. It's about making money. And these bots will make you money. Now for me, I want the bot to make me at least 1% per day consistently. And so that's why I'm looking at the Litecoin, because that's the coin right now that's making me a consistent 1% per day. Now for that purpose, I'll probably try to keep one bot in each pair that's available so that I can sort of keep an idea of what's going on with the ROIs. And if it looks like something moves more into the range of making me that 1%, then I can, you know, open up a new bot. But otherwise, I don't want to tie my money up in a bunch of bots that aren't making me what I want it to make. And my goal is at least 1% per day every single day. Because if I can get that, then I can project what I'm going to make in a month, and I'll have an idea of where I want to go with it. Okay? Nothing's guaranteed. Just because I'm making 1% today doesn't necessarily mean that at the end of the month I'm still going to be making 1% per day. But that's not going to stop me from setting my goals. And so that's my goal, and I'm going to, you know, follow the trail here, follow the data to make my decisions. So that's it. I've held you long enough. I hope that I gave you a little bit to think about. You might want to go back and watch it over again, pause it, take notes, and because the data is here, you might have different ideas about how to use the data than my ideas, and that's great. You know, share it with me in the comments, send me an email, sign up, get on my list, and I'll continue shooting these videos. So they're just going to keep getting better. They're going to keep having more data to work with. And as I move forward, my strategies will change, just like it did with all the other businesses that I've been in that I've made videos for. I just try to keep it real, try to deal with real numbers. I don't try to hype it up. I don't try to make it look like it's more than it really is. I just show you exactly how it's happening for me and how I'm interpreting that. And I hope that's helpful for you. So you make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.